I'm not so sure because St Marys are a good side. Rushen, I think, have slipped off a little bit towards the end of the season, but they're still capable of causing an upset. And when you look at the other teams that are in the competition, all the big boys, then it could go anywhere. But one of the big boys are going to go out early stages, isn't it? Which brings an end possibly to Rushen season because they've played the 22 league games and now they move into the cup. So if they did win it, it would certainly give them a huge lift. But St Marys are a very, very good side. I think one or two sides that are around them are into good form as well. So it makes for a great competition.
Yeah, how does that affect Rushen? Because some might think that they've been able to recharge their batteries and they go into this game full of energy, but they lack match sharpness if they haven't played in so long. And St Marys, well, we know just how good they can be, and you need to be at their best if you have any chance of beating them.
I think it's been a little bit frustrating for Liam Cowan because he knew the fixtures were coming to an end for him. Then they were due to play Braddon. There isn't a Braddon, so they missed out on that one. He was on a spy mission last week where he went down and watched against Colby, so he won't have learnt anything there. He knows where the main threats are, that spine right the way through the middle. And then up front, if the boys are on song, they'll score plenty of goals. But it will have helped Liam, I think, a little bit because there's a few injuries kicking around. I know Josh Kelly hadn't played a couple of games, but certainly Dan Hartsley, when he came back to the Isle of Man and started playing again, he was scoring plenty of goals, but then a problem appeared. I don't know if it was knee or his ankle, and he's missed quite a few games. So hopefully he's fit, and it'll make a challenge for St Marys because you've got St Marys Peel in the final. You've got Peel who've already won the Railway Cup, and I'm pretty certain the boys next to me and their club would like to get some silverware on the table as well.
Oh, well, St George's players Jay Skelcher-Maxwell and Joel Ibanez in the spotlight in Football Focus after the news at 6 o'clock. Tony, I've been trying to look at the fixtures in the Hospital Cup and try and eye where an upset might come, and you think that the best chance of an upset will come Blackberry Lane, Old Boys against Paul Rose, and Old Boys defeated by bottom side Laxey in the Premier League last weekend. Paul Rose going great guns in the second tier.
There's a few Old Boys players missing now. Whether they come back in for this cup, I'm not too sure. There was doubt over the two Stewart boys, Callum and Craig, but they sort of played in the last game. But it just shows you as a club where they are at the moment. They're struggling a little bit. They've still got some good players in there. And Old Boys need to try and find some players next year. They haven't got the youth policy to bring them through. So they're going to have to headhunt and see if they can bring them back in. Because Old Boys have always been one of those top 3, top 4 sides. Now they're not. So they need to be able to get some younger players in because a lot of the players like Robbie Ward, Martin King, Tom Weir, Callum Stewart, Craig Stewart and others are all around that 30, 31, 32 bracket. So they need some energy in there, and it's going to be hard to entice players, I think, to Blackberry Lane at the moment.
Laxey versus St John's as well. I don't think either side will care too much about how far they go in the Hospital Cup because the priority will be their Premier League status, and they face off again on Tuesday. How do you see it going tomorrow?
It's tough. I think St John's, Sam Ingham, Nick Long, Andrew Chadwick's in the team, so that'll help. Up front, they're still a bit light. They rely heavily on sort of just a breakaway play, and if they can sort of cause them problems against Laxey, then it might help them. But you're right in what you're saying. They're looking at that big game on Tuesday. When you look at some of the boys, will be playing Hospital Cup Saturday, Junior Cup Sunday, Cal Cup Monday, and then Premier League games on Tuesday, and then Combi games on Wednesday. There's an awful lot of football. There's not a lot we can do about it. If some teams are using the same amount of players right the way through, then they're going to struggle. But I think current form, you'd have to just edge it towards Laxey, and I think St John's are under a little bit of pressure.